Yeah, welcome to the Making of Me podcast, where we explore the challenges, habits, and decisions that shape who we have become. Today, I'm joined by Drewbie Wilson, founder of Call the Damn Lead and Crush the Day Before It Crush You movement. Drewbie has helped entrepreneurs and sales team turn chaos into consistency through mindset, system, and relentless follow up. It's really a pleasure having you on the show, Drewbie.
Thank you. I'm excited to be here and share a little bit of wisdom with your listeners.
Thank you so much. So, Drupi, what was some of the challenge that shaped you into who you have become today?
If I look back over my life, some of the more prominent stuff that I dealt with, I was always a little more heavy set and overweight as a kid. My dad wasn't around much, so my mom primarily raised me by herself. So I had some, stuff going on with family. We weren't necessarily the richest, so we didn't always have all the nicest things. So it's like, I didn't have the worst life, but I also didn't come from like a silver spoon or the greatest life either. And I think that can be just as damaging one extreme or the other, because when you're comfortable, it's easy to stay comfortable, and you have to get uncomfortable in order to start taking the types of actions that are necessary to really make a big impact in your life. And so, for me, it was being overweight, and then that leading to not having confidence, and not having confidence leading to not being able to get the things that I wanted. And so it kind of was just like the snowball. I always had just enough, but I always wanted more too.
Yeah, that was really a whole lot of that. So you have talked openly about being busy but broke. What was the turning point?
I think the biggest thing for me, at one point I was selling insurance, making, I don't know, 30 or 40 grand a year, a couple $1,000s a month. Someone was telling me, hey, if you want to make more sales, you got to start generating your own leads. Because if you can generate your own leads, you'll make more sales, you'll make more money. And so I started going down the process and started learning how to generate my own leads. And at one point, someone reached out to me and they're like, well, hey, how much for an hour of your time to help me learn how to do this as well? And that was really the moment where I kind of started thinking to myself, what is my time worth? And how much should I charge someone for it realistically? And I'm doing the math in my head, and I'm trying to figure out, okay, if I have a base salary and I work so many hours and then I get commission for sales, what's my average sales commission look like? And, I'm trying to figure out this math in my head of how much to charge this lady that's on the other phone waiting. And you can kind of hear, like, the breathing, like, okay, I wonder if he's going to answer me anytime soon. And I remember spouting back, like, $50. And she kind of chuckled, and she's just like, well, I was going to pay you $75. And I was like, yeah, that sounds way better. I'll take $75. Like, let's do that. And so she laughed it off and was like, yeah, I'm happy to pay you $75. I know it'll be worth it. And so it was such a humbling situation. And then, I ended up having the call with her. We have an awesome conversation. It's very fun, very casual for me. I'm just answering questions and helping her, with the stuff that I've learned along the way. And she sent me a Venmo for $75, and I remember screenshotting it and sending it to my wife and being like, hey, this is usually more than I make in a whole day working 8 to 9 hours, and I just made this in an hour. Like, how the heck do I do this all the time? And it kind of led me to the idea of understanding that my time is my most valuable asset, and where I spend it, what I spend it on, who I spend it with, those are all things that are really, really important to what the return on that investment actually becomes. And so there's a lot of people that are always doing something, but is that something actually getting them closer to the life that they want to live? And what you'll find when you do an audit on this is it's often not.
Amazing. I think I really learned a whole lot from what you just said, that my time is worth more than the kind of work. And it's really amazing just sharing that particular experience. So you did transform your health impact. So how did transforming your health impact your mindsets and business results?
Well, again, if you can find pictures of me online, I used to be very overweight, unhealthy, that caused a lack of confidence, and it caused me some other kind of personal issues. And so when I finally started waking up earlier and getting a little more intentional about my health, it made a massive difference. It's crazy because, like, at the same time that I started getting up and going for a walk, which was ultimately how I started the whole journey, was, hey, I'm just going to go for a walk every day. In that time, I would listen to a podcast like this. I would listen to, YouTube, I would listen to motivational stuff. I would try to find ways to just stay in a positive state, and all of that connected and together with me focusing on getting healthier and being more disciplined, it led me making more calls and having more confidence and making more sales. And it was just this whole snowball effect of the more intentional I got with my personal health, the more successful I became professionally.
Yeah, it's really lovely sharing your story. That the fact that, yeah, the more intentional you are about your health, the more intentional you are in your life and in the other aspect of it. And it's really, really amazing. You just sharing that particular experience. So, what does call the damn lead really means beyond picking up the phone?
Calling the damn leads is really just a reminder to have the conversations. Right? You have to reach out to people. You have to talk to them. You have to ask questions. You have to hear what they have to say if you want to be able to determine whether or not you can help them with your product or service. And everybody on the planet has a product or service that they can offer to somebody. Whether or not you're monetizing it and getting paid for it, that's a whole other conversation. But the fact is, there's something that you do really, really well that you can offer to other people. And the only way to make that offer or have that conversation is to call the damn leads. And so it's just a reminder to go out, have conversations, talk to people, see if you can help them. And if you can help them, make them an offer to do so.
Yeah, amazing, amazing. This is really reassuring, especially when you make reference of the fact that, yeah, every one of us has a product we can actually sell. Call the damn call. I think it's really reassuring, being that sometimes it can get overwhelmed that a whole lot of person does not even know whether they are capable of actually creating any products or capable of doing anything. And I think it's something that actually more like spur out from conversation. When you keep having conversation many a times, you discover that what is common to you is not common to all. To kind of package it as a solution to a particular problem they are facing, and owing to that, you already have a product. And I think it's having this conversation most times that a whole lot of people are not willing to have. So yeah, it's really amazing. Call it the damn lead. Really speak volumes. Yeah, thank you. So why do you say our system beats motivation every time?
I mean, you got to look at it like, why does a system beat motivation? Is because a system works even when it doesn't necessarily want to. Right? You know, if you think about an engine, as long as you have fuel and oil and you take care of it, it's going to just keep running, and it's going to do exactly what it's supposed to do consistently. And you don't have to ask it to keep working. As long as you feed it and fuel it and provide all the right things, it's going to keep doing what it's supposed to do. Humans, they try to use motivation as a fuel, but motivation is temporary. It's like a big gust of wind that helps push you over the edge, but it's not going to stay consistent, right? It's for a short period. And so a system continues to work, right? If you have water that's constantly flowing and moving you along, well, then that system's going to keep you going forward. You can't always rely on a really strong gust of air. It's kind of just when it comes through, it's awesome, but the rest of the time, you got to just do it on your own. So I've learned that in my life specifically, I can go and listen to something exciting and get motivated, but that's only going to last so long. And so on the days when even that really exciting, motivating content, these podcasts, isn't quite getting me through it, I still have to be able to show up and get the job done. And that's where having a real system, it makes it a little easier. It's not always simple, but it's a little easier to get up and do it when you have a system behind you.
Amazing. System really speak volume, being that, yeah, motivation is short life, and it's easier to get to quit in the tough days and when you are depressed compared to when you have a system. Even if you are depressed, even if you have a hot day, it's just keep carrying you along, even when you don't want to see anything. And yeah, amazing. So what are the biggest mistake entrepreneurs make?
They're not doing it. First and foremost, that's the biggest mistake. They're just not actually taking the time to follow up with their leads. Most of the time, they're not following up enough. They're only reaching out one or two times, and then when someone doesn't immediately respond back, they're just giving up on it and just kind of saying, hey, it's not good. Truth is, people are distracted. We see, several thousand advertisements a day at this point in our journey. And so to think that your message is the absolute most important thing in the world to other people is it's kind of silly if we're just being honest with each other. And so you have to just know other people are living their life. They've got things going on, and you can't take it personally if they don't respond right away. And honestly, you can't take it personally if they respond back and tell you they're not interested. It's just part of the game. Hey, at some point, we're going to have people that are interested and we're going to have people that aren't.
How can someone build confidence in sales if they didn't see themselves as a salesperson?
Focus on service first. Like sales, people always overcomplicate it. They want to make it really difficult. But if you just focus on serving and taking care of other people, the rest of the stuff will work itself out. And I'm a big believer of that, because if you ask good questions and you care about other people and helping other people solve their problems or get the thing that they desire most, they're often going to reciprocate that either financially by paying you a lot of money, or maybe they don't pay you a lot of money, but maybe they send you a lot of referrals and people who need that specific product or service from you. And so by proxy, they're sending you a lot of money. And I think that's just it, is most people go into it with the mentality of transaction. Hey, I need to sell this person something because I need to win. I need to make money. But at the end of the day, if you just focus on how can I help them win, which will help me win, you're typically going to have a better success rate.
Amazing. This is really the key to that. At the end of the day, our customer wants to do deal with those who actually serve them, right? Who have their interest in mind. And just starting with that, starting with service. Over time, the right words to actually put in place is definitely comes into play. Yeah, amazing. Thank you so much for sharing. So how do you balance ambition, fatherhood, and leadership?
The calendar. I live and die by the calendar. Everything I do has to be on the calendar. I try to stay very consistent in my daily routine and my process. I know that if I'm going to hit the 4 6s, which are to me the most important areas of my day every day, 6 hours for rest and recovery, 6 hours for my family, 6 hours for me, 6 hours for my business. That gives me 24 hours in a day. I really just focus on using the calendar to get all of those things where they need to be. And what's interesting is a lot of people would look at my calendar and see all the colors and all the blocks and everything all, organized and color coded and be like, that doesn't seem like freedom, because you're locked down to all these different things, these commitments that you have on the calendar. But what's cool is I choose what goes on there. I'm the one who's responsible for this. I get to do, for me, like maybe I'm going to the doctor, or maybe I have to attend, maybe there's, a funeral or something. It's like I get to do these things. I get to participate in them because I'm not beholden to someone else's schedule, right? I don't have a boss that's telling me, hey, you have to show up from this time to this time or you're not going to get a paycheck. I'm blessed with the idea of I built my life, I've built my business, I've built my day around having the choice to do what I would want to do during that day.
In your life around the choice, to actually do what you want to. Yeah, amazing. Thank you so much for sharing. So lastly, if someone feels stuck in inconsistency, what would be your advice to them?
If you're stuck in inconsistency, I would encourage you to do a time audit. So put an alarm in your phone every hour, every couple of hours. And when that alarm goes off, every time it goes off for the next 7 days, get out a pencil and a pad or get out your phone and make a note for yourself about all the things that you did during that time frame. And be very serious about it. Like, don't lie to yourself. Be serious. Hey, did you, work on your business? Did you spend time with your family? Did you go to the restroom? Did you scroll through TikTok? Did you spend the last 20 minutes listening to me and Benaiah talk about, cool stuff on the podcast? Like, just write it down. Make a note for yourself. Hey, here's all the things that I did. And after a couple of days, you're going to start to realize there's a lot of things that you're doing that you couldn't put a check mark next to as being very productive. And when you start auditing your time and where you're spending it and who you're spending it with and what you're spending it on, you start to recognize why you're not necessarily living the life that you want to live or achieving the things that you want to achieve, whether that's in your fitness, in your faith, in your finances, or your family relationships. Like, there will be a clear indication of things you're doing and things you're not doing that are leading you to the life that you're living right now.
Amazing. I think it's a great realization having to do that. You get to know what yeah, you have been spending majority of your time in. So thank you so much, Drewbie. It's a pleasure having you on the show. Also, for my audience who want to connect with you, who want to reach out to you and want to listen and hear more about you, how can they reach out to you and where is the best platform?
Best thing they could do is find us over at callthedamnleads.com. We have a podcast, we have multiple books, we have all sorts of free content that we share with sales professionals and entrepreneurs that are trying to learn and grow in their journey. You can also share this episode on whatever your preferred social platform is. Tag at Call the Damn Leads. We'll see it. We'll reshare it. We'll send you a message saying thank you, and definitely look forward to hearing from anybody that got some value out of today's conversation.
Thank you so much, Drewbie. Thank you for bringing energy, clarity, and practical framework for consistent success. For listener, you can actually grab Drewbie's book, Tools and Training, at the link to the website that will be added to the show notes. And yeah, this has been the Making of Me podcast. And it's really a pleasure and an honor have you on the show.
That was awesome.